Hi everybody. I've got a really fun project for us today. I am a guest designer for Pink Monarch Prints. My name is Pam and I'm with Silver and Sparkles. I hope you enjoy the video. If so, feel free to go check out my channel as well. So today we're going to make this stuffed pocket, and it's jumbo size, so it's kind of fun, and it has this cute attached envelope. Inside I put a piece of journaling paper that coordinates, and let's see, there's tags and plenty of space to tuck all kinds of things. I think this one will do really well attached to a journal page or tucked inside a large journal pocket, right? If you attach it to a page, you could leave the side or even the top open for more tuck spots. So it comes together really easy, and then you can decorate it however you like. I'm using papers from the Classic Collections 1, I believe. They're neutrals and they're really pretty and coordinate really well together. I also use some butterflies from, I think it's the Butterfly Specimen Kit. All that'll be linked for you in the description, all right? So let's just get started. I'm going to show you how to make the first part of the pocket, the fold. So when you print out the papers, I printed mine both sides so that you got the two patterns going. And once you cut off, or at least with my printer, once I cut off the white border, I'm left with a piece of paper that is 10 inches. And this one is 7 3/4. So again, use whatever paper you have, but the measurement I'm starting with is 10 by 7 3/4. So we're just gonna fold this in half. And my mom was a first grade teacher, and she always called this hamburger style. If you folded it this way, that would be hot dog style. So we're gonna fold it in half hamburger style. And then when you unfold it, we're just going to fold this top right-hand corner right down to where the crease line is. And I'm sure that's hard for you guys to see. So let me ink that to help, hopefully on the camera, for you guys to see where I'm at. So we're going to just fold just like this, okay? And make a nice diagonal crease. I told you guys this was easy, right? Look at that, done. Now I trimmed this off just so that I can use this piece of paper for something else. That's up to you. If you want to leave it folded down, it would be fine. I'd probably add a little glue if you're going to leave the flap. But I trimmed mine off just to the you know, the other edge of the crease so that this is nice and smooth. Okay, and then of course decide which way, which angle you want your pocket. You really can do it either way, and depending on how you, which paper you want showing. Why don't we do it this way so that I'll have I'll have two. I'll have one that's angled to that side and one that's angled to this side. Okay, then to close this pocket, super easy. You're just going to add glue along the bottom edge and then right up this edge, and try to do a thin bead. I'm not going to add any glue along the side because that'll leave my pocket nice and roomy. Okay, so easy. Certainly if you want to, you can ink. I usually do that before I glue it down. Didn't really think about it, but it's okay. There we go. All right, now let's make the attached envelope and the little closure, because again, it's easy, but just to kind of show you. So I've got a few of the papers. I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use. Why don't I just use this one? Okay, so what I did is I took another piece of the paper. It is printed on both sides because I like when I open up my envelope it not to be bright white inside. And I just cut it in half. So this one is 5 inches by that 7 3/4. Okay, now I want my pocket or my envelope to be, this one I did 3 1/4. And that's about the size I want. I want it to come up above where the angle of the pocket is. So we are going to fold. We can do a score if we want to at 3 1/4 inches. So I'm just going to use my grid lines to help me mark where I want to score this. If you have a scoreboard, you can use that, but we're scoring at 3 1/4. And then we'll just fold it on that score line. I didn't do a very good score, but there we go. Make sure it's nice and even. And then this part, I just kind of eyeball. I'm just going to come down just a touch like this. So now when we attach our pocket, it fits in there really nicely and just comes up a little bit on the angle. So I do like rounding the corners here. It's optional. You could also angle them if you'd prefer, but I'm gonna use my quarter rounder, and this is the 1/2 inch quarter round. And it's just that easy because we're just doing a super simple envelope. Let me just ink this really quick. Most of the things I'm going to use for our project today, I pre-inked. But let me get this for us real quick and see how pretty the inside of the envelope is with that pattern paper inside. All right. And you can ink as much or as little or not at all. Your choice. Okay. All right. Now, before I glue the envelope together and before I attach it, I do want to make my little closure, okay? So I'm going to use a tiny circle punch I have. I think this is a 1/2 inch. No, it's a 3/4 inch punch. You could use 1 inch. You could use whatever size you want. And I'm going to use part of the paper that was left over and punch myself a couple of circles. Now, I was really hoping to put in the center of my circle one of these little squares, and it's just not quite reaching, so that's why I'm trimming it off. You can use any pattern or design that you like. Oh, so you want that to be cute? All right, so I need 2 of these because that'll show on the pattern, okay? And then to make these a little bit sturdier, a little bit thicker, what I normally do is just get a scrap, an offcut of cardstock. And guys, I printed this on 90-pound cardstock. So it's not a super duper heavy, but it's also not like just copy paper weight, okay? So I'm gonna do layers here, and I don't know if I want to use 3 or 4 because we also are gonna have the decorative one. So let's just see how thick it feels when I start gluing these together. So you're just gonna glue the circles together to make it nice and sturdy. All right, so this is 3 with the decorative paper on top. I think I need at least 1 more. So why don't we do 4 total? And just glue these together and give it a second to dry. And then we're going to attach them with a tiny little brad. So if you don't have brads, a lot of times what I will do is if I don't want to use a brad or I don't have any, you can build up with a smaller circle a little bit of a, I don't know, a cushion. Let's call it a cushion. And then your twine can wrap around that. And I don't think I'm explaining that very well. So let me show you really quick. I don't have a smaller circle punch than that. So let's just say I was going to go with a 1 inch. This has got to be a 1/2, guys. So if this was going to be my closure, then I could take 3, 4, 5, whatever of this size, glue it to the back, okay, and then stick it down. Now it's popped up. It's kind of like a pop-up adhesive or something, but then I could wrap my twine around it and not need a brad. I hope that helped if somebody wanted that idea. Let's real quick ink these, and then I am going to use my brad to attach it. So that will make it a super easy closure. So let me see what I have. I used this copper color on my original. I'll just stay with that. We'll get 2 of those out. And you do need some type of piercing tool. You could use like a thick needle like this. I also have my paper piercing tool that I like to use. But again, if you don't have these tools, that's okay. You know, use what you have on hand. And it's much easier to get the brad through if you go ahead and make a hole. I'm trying to be kind of in the center of those little squares. So now I'm gonna eyeball where I want it. You can also see I made the flap of this envelope a little bit larger than my original, and I'm okay with that. I'll have plenty of room to decorate. I am eyeballing the center. If you want to measure and find your center point, it's up to you. And again, I'm just pre-piercing the hole so that the brad will go through easier. And I'm just gonna flatten it. Now, having the brad show on this side of the flap of the envelope doesn't bother me, but you could punch a circle or put a strip of paper or something if you want to cover it up. All right. I think that looks about right. If I can avoid measuring, I usually do. So I hope that didn't make anybody lose any sleep tonight. Okay, so now that the little closure is on, we can glue our envelope together, and it is so simple. We're just doing a bead of glue on each side. This was not a fancy fold envelope, and you can make these any size you want. It's just, you know, a rectangle piece of paper folded up. How cute is that? All right, now I am going to use some really thin twine. And I do try to be careful when I'm putting this on because, you know, the brads are on there good, but this is paper. So, you know, I wouldn't pull too tight, that kind of thing. I am going to just do a loop like that. And I tend to cut this one a little bit short. I kind of like seeing the dangles, but then I know which one I'm going to pull when I'm undoing it. And I'm just going to twist this on here, twist it around a few times, and I'll leave this one long. And I usually tie a knot to also help me know which end I'm pulling from and to keep it if it is twine that might fray. All right, it has a little tiny knot. I'll trim it off. Okay, and I like having it long. If you want it short, you can do it short. So cute. Okay, so really easy project. We are going to decorate it here in just a minute. I've got a few options for you on that. Now, I do want to leave this open as a pocket. So again, just remember what you're doing. Add glue to the 2 sides and the bottom of the envelope. I always try to hold my piece of paper by the side I don't want adhesive on so I don't accidentally glue my pocket closed. Okay, so this is our fixed envelope. And of course we can put a piece of writing paper, journaling paper, some journaling cards, photos, whatever down inside of there. Okay, now for my original, I just used some of the pattern paper and made a few tags. and I did a pretty large piece. I kind of think of this more as like a journaling paper, right? In the large pocket. So we can certainly do that. I just did some torn edges and then I decorated, added some tabs. I do have an idea for you because Anna and Elena just sent out last week a freebie, and it was a page of these really pretty tags. Aren't they cute? And they coordinate with the Classic Collection papers and have the dragonflies. So I printed one of the designs from the paper pack on the back of the freebie and then just cut them out. I have inked around the edges. Obviously we could add ribbon and tags and more decorations, but look how cute these are in here. And there's even a great big one that'll look cute in there. If I push it all the way in, it sort of disappears, but I love them in here. So that's what I'm going to do today. Now, I do want to decorate the front of my envelope, and the butterfly specimen papers, there's several of them, and I just printed one of them out. I did this on just a copy paper weight paper, and I've already cut a few out to save a little time on camera. But I love using the butterflies to add a pop of color. And then I also just grabbed a few labels. I believe this is actually from the August kit, because I'm still having a lot of fun playing with the August kit. And, you know, we'll just add a few on here. Now we could also decorate the pockets some, so then depending on, we do that. I'm going to add this to the actual pocket. Depending on what you have stuffed in here, it might give it a little more interest. But again, all of this is just use what you have, make it whatever patterns and designs that you like. How cute. So I'm just going to plop a few on here. Not really overthinking it. Most of these I've already pre-inked. So, you know, if you want to ink before you glue them down, go ahead and do that. I just love this butterfly, especially with the brads, the kind of coppery brads. It brings the orange out of the butterfly. And again, you can use a whole bunch. You can use just a few. It's up to you. That one has that pretty dragonfly. Oh, look, 50 and 50 cents. Did not even think about that. So let's find a little butterfly and just put at the top to pull it together. How cute. All right. And what else do we want to do? Sometimes with these little tags, I'll even layer them on top of each other, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to glue this one to the large one, just because I can. All right, that's cute, isn't it? All right, gives it a little more interest. Okay, so I'm going to just stop there. Again, there's so much room in these pockets, so have at it. Have fun. And of course, put something in the envelope. I haven't done that yet, but that'll be okay. Okay, I hope you like this idea. If you don't want to use these tags, or you just want to make your own, all I did was take some more of these papers and cut them. I left them square. You know, you can angle them into pockets. You've got so many options. All right, I'm happy with how these turned out. I hope you liked it too. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for having me, Anna and Elena.